I hate Kiss. I mean, not as much as Eric Clapton, but I hate Kiss. I'm Arizona Family political editor Dennis Welch.
Dennis, fake news Welch. Try to tell the truth.
And this is the Politics Unplugged podcast.
Dennis, if you have a problem with substance abuse, I am more than willing to talk to you anytime you need.
Welcome back to the Politics Unplugged podcast. Hope everybody enjoyed their holidays, the Thanksgivings, the Christmases, the New Year's. And we are back to start a whole new year, and we're going to kick it off here with Wes Gullett, an old veteran, old pro here at state politics. And we're going to be talking a lot about the upcoming legislative session and what the governor's doing to prepare for all that as she kicks off that session this week. Wes, welcome back.
Well, thank you, Dennis.
Yeah, I like the sweater, man.
Here.
I like the sweater.
Well, it's a nice cold day, you know. So
it is cold.
I was getting ready today, and I was like, "Ooh,
I know.
I got to dress up a little bit."
Well,
so
I mean,
I had to put the tie on.
It was like, could we have had a bit of this for Christmas? I mean, it was like a balmy, 80 degrees on Christmas. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm just not feeling it.
You know, having grown up in the Midwest, I'm happy to have a balmy Christmas.
We're both from Iowa. Yes.
Yes.
We did not have many balmy Christmases.
No.
We didn't have a lot of snow Christmas, white Christmases, as they say, either, though.
No, just gray and cold.
Just gray and shitty.
Yeah. So happy to be here and happy to be in the sunshine.
All right, man. Let's get to it. You're a veteran of the executive arts. You worked up in the 9th floor with governors and stuff like that. Like every year, man, it's like the big speech, the big state of the state speech and stuff like that, where they lay out the agenda. Again, every year it's like they come out Monday, they lay out the agenda in the state of the state speech, and then we figure out how they're going to pay for that later in the week when they release the budget. A lot of work goes into this, and just want to ask you, what's preparation like for doing stuff like this? How long does it take?
Oh, it takes months and months. The budget, really takes probably 5 or 6 months to get done. You go to all the agencies. You say, "Here's what the budget forecast looks like, and here you get us your budget." And that budget then prioritizes what you're going to do, because the one thing that state government does is spends money. And that money is, that's why the budget process is so important. And I think that people, not that a lot of regular people are listening to the podcast, but
you'd be shocked. The kids dig it.
Yeah. My kids especially.
Well, yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure.
Yeah. But the budget process is so critically important because it's the one thing that has to happen.
Yeah, it's one
Nothing
thing by
else has to happen.
One thing by law they're required.
Right.
That's why I always kind of laugh every year, every election cycle, when state lawmakers we balanced the budget.
Yeah.
Because you have to.
They put that in their mail piece. Balanced budget.
Yeah, because
it's
by law
constitutionally required.
I mean, it's not like you're going to budget jail if you don't do it.
Actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you could be. Yeah, you have to do it. That's your job.
Maybe
you got one job, and it's do the budget.
Maybe someday that's a story I'm covering, following the sergeant in arms, tracking down lawmakers' failure to pass the budget.
Right.
But yeah, it is a complicated process. With this governor, you're familiar with the parameters and the environment. I mean, what do you think she should be trying to accomplish with this speech, with this budget coming up this week?
Yeah, this is a critical speech because it really launches the election year. People don't pay attention to the election year until it arrives upon us, and it is here. We are in 2026. It's the governor's election. So her speech, this is really, really, really important speech for her. She's going to lay out what she wants to do. I don't think she's going to get into a lot of detail about legislative accomplishments because there probably won't be that many with the Republican legislature. But she's got to outline her vision for Arizona and why she should be rehired. This is really a job interview kind of speech, and it's really critically important. She has to deliver it well.
Mm-hmm.
She's got to have good themes. I think we're going to hear a lot about affordability. I'm kind of curious to see how they talk about that because that's what all the polling says.
Yeah.
And so she's going to have to probably talk about housing, what she's doing in housing to make housing more affordable, what she's doing to make sure that health care does not become more expensive. And with health care, it's hard because you can't make it cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
You can only hold down the costs increases. So, but she's going to be trying to weave those bigger issues into this affordability thing because they think that's what's the Achilles heel for the Republicans.
Yeah, before we talking about the affordability thing, because I mean everybody. That's the buzzword this year. Let's talk a little bit about you said she's got to deliver it well. And look, I'm not here. I don't want to like pick on the governor and stuff, but she is not known as a great speaker. That's just a fact, right?
Right.
So when you say deliver well, what does she have to accomplish then? How does she do that with this speech?
Well, I think the highlights, the pull-out quotes, she's got to have some energy. She's got to show some dynamism.
Mm-hmm.
And to date, not a lot. So, people are waiting to see that. I think, and not to put any pressure on her, but she got to hit it out of the park, in my view.
Okay.
I think, it's like you can't, this is not a singles game.
Mm-hmm.
She can't just hit a single with this speech.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to be a triple or a homer.
Okay.
And so I think there's a tremendous amount of pressure on her.
Mm-hmm. I mean, again, it's the fourth. It's the fourth session. It's the fourth speech she's going to deliver. Heading into that election, I mean, affordability is the big issue. That's what her campaign is talking about. I'm assuming that's what's going to be and I've spoken with her and interviewed her on the TV show. If you want to check that out and do a little cross promotion right there. And affordability is a big deal. But what's interesting is affordability is the issue for Republicans and Democrats. But it means different things to the parties. Maybe you could help me unpack what affordability means to Republicans versus what it means to Democrats.
Well, I think it's actually more important to what it means to independents.
Okay.
Because they're going to be the swing vote.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of them. And they don't have that. I think the Republicans are going to vote for a Republican. I think the Democrats are going to vote for a Democrat.
Mm-hmm.
And the only way that Hobbs wins re-election is by killing it with the independents. So what does affordability mean to independents? Well, independents they're the average working people who are out there trying to make their way.
Mm-hmm.
And so it means lower prices for housing, try and buy a house. And an independent is the kind of person who's getting ready to move into that starter home or maybe making that jump from the starter home to the next home.
Do starter homes exist anymore?
No, I heard they don't. But I have two 30-something kids, and two of them are in starter homes.
Okay.
So they're lucky. They're privileged. But they
good for them.
Yeah, good for them. But I think that, and they're independents, so they're looking at how do I afford gas? How do I afford food? How do I afford some entertainment? And how do I afford my mortgage or my rent, which is $2,200 a month for a 2-bedroom apartment? I mean, it's crazy. So that's what affordability means to them. And what they're giving up right now is the entertainment and going out to eat and stuff like that, because they've got to buy their gas to get to work, and they've got to pay the rent. And, it's just not – people are really pulling back right now. Yeah. That's what we're seeing. That's the economic data.
Well, it's interesting because the governor is going around, as governors do the week before these things kick off. They go in and give a lot of interviews. So there's a lot of stories about, if you want to be go more in depth, in detail about, what the governor's pitching, what she's proposing, things like that. It's out there. There's a ton of stories out there right now. And Andy Biggs' campaign, and Congressman Biggs is obviously one of her potential opponents, was out with a press release this morning, and in part was attacking her on some of the affordability stuff. And, in 2023, she vetoed a bill to get rid of the grocery tax. Now, there's no state grocery tax, but local communities and cities and towns can impose their own taxes on groceries and whatnot. I mean, is that the kind of thing that could hurt her as both sides are trying to fight for the affordability flag?
Well, yeah, absolutely. I think that if Andy Biggs says, the governor is for taxing groceries, she vetoed a bill that would make that illegal. She's for taxing groceries. I think people are like, what? That's crazy. We have to have groceries. We have to have food. And so I think it could be a real valid attack. And I think that you're going to see that. And you're going to say, on Hobbs's watch, things have gotten more expensive. Now, it's not her fault.
It's not like Katie Hobbs is setting the price points for things. Yeah.
And Donald Trump's going to be saying everything's cheaper. Everything's cheaper. Oh, it's so cheap. Well, so there is going to be a little dichotomy there.
Yeah,
who to blame?
Yeah, and some of the stuff she's proposing, particularly with housing, is like she's talking about some investment, some incentives for investing to help lower interest rates for developers to build more houses. There is going to be a fee or a tax on short-term rentals. It's going to go into some pool to help people pay their bills and stuff like that. But I'm having a hard time, and maybe you can explain to me, how are voters, too, since this is all connected, how are voters going to look at that and say, that's going to help me out?
Well, I think that the voters are going to look at the overall perspective and say, am I better off today than I was 4 years ago? Is the economy better off? Do we need to make a change? Are we making the right decisions? And it's going to be hard because of this mixed messaging coming from Washington and then coming at the state level. But I think that I was talking to Governor Ducey the other day, and he said, it's hard to beat an incumbent governor, which is true. There hasn't been an incumbent governor that's lost re-election, I think, since Jack Williams in 1960.
Sam Goddard. I think Sam Goddard in 68, 69.
All right. That was still a long time ago. I was only 7 years old, and I am super old.
Terry's dad.
Right. So it is hard it's hard to beat an incumbent governor. Mm-hmm. However, you have to have a record, and you have to say, here's what I've done, and here's what I said I was going to do, and here's what I've done. To make that case to the voters, and the on the math, it's really a hard situation for Katie Hobbs. Mm-hmm. She won by 17,000 votes. The Republicans have registered 300,000 voters, mm-hmm. more than the Democrats have in the last 18 months or so. Those new Republicans are going to vote Republican. Mm-hmm. So that the independents are really, really important. So, when we were doing these kinds of speeches, when I worked in the governor's office, we were thinking about themes that would impact that swing vote, things that we wanted to talk about that we knew were going to have an impact there. So, the Governor Hobbs is going to have been doing a lot of polling. She theoretically will know what those independents want to hear about, mm-hmm. and she's going to be talking about it. And it's going to be hard for her because she is a liberal Democrat, and she's used to talking like a liberal Democrat.
Yeah, and two, it's really interesting because it's a lot more about the symbolism in the message than the day-to-day experience. Because as we said, Katie Hobbs is not responsible for the price increases. Therefore, she can't just snap and bring them down. That's a whole economy, a whole market situation. The message I think would be important. But switching gears a little bit, one of the things I'm not hearing a lot about this year from everybody, really. You're seeing some bills on this, and obviously there's always some talk about it, but immigration is just it's not the same issue it used to be, Wes.
No, it's not. But because Trump's got it all under control.
Yeah.
Except for, the situation in Minneapolis.
But when I'm talking about the enforcement on the border, and
right.
Remember, that was always the big issue. And
right. And
I don't hear a lot of the rhetoric coming from the Republicans like we used to, because Trump has shut down the border. What we do hear a lot about is, that's more a national thing, is like, the tactics being used to implement Trump's policies.
Well, and you can track it. When immigration is the top issue, it's a good year for Republicans.
Mm-hmm.
When it's not the top issue, then you got a problem. Republicans do. So, and this year it's not the top issue. So, and cutting taxes is not the top issue, and tax burden is not the top issue. So the Republicans have a little bit of challenge on the issue side, because they are not that good at talking about affordability, and so and the economy kind of being stalled is not good for Republicans right now.
So what would you advise the governor? I know you're a Republican. Some Republicans would say you're not a real Republican.
Right, I'm a rhino. A Republican in name only.
You're an elected member of the party.
And very proud of it.
Yeah, you're a precinct committee person. Right?
I gave up my precinct committee.
Oh, you did? Oh,
yeah.
We're breaking news.
Yeah.
Colin, we're breaking news here.
Good work.
Wes Gullett has stepped away from his position with the state Republican Party. What would you what would you advise the governor? Because she's going in. The first thing we're going to see is this fight over tax conformity, and what that is the state. Usually this is such a snoozer of a story. They quietly pass state taxes to conform with federal taxes to make it easier for everyone to file their taxes. But this year it's going to be, there's a division there. The governor's called for about $250 million worth of the Trump tax cuts that were in the big, beautiful bill. Republicans want basically the whole enchilada with some tweaks to it. How would you go about advising this governor to attack this issue in this situation? If she only wants half of the tax cuts and doesn't want to give Republicans the other half, what are you advising her to do?
Well, I would advise her to do as little as possible, just for the good of the state.
Mm-hmm.
And I would make the case that we've set up a situation in Arizona where you cannot raise revenue. So
without a you
have to have a 2/3 vote,
yeah.
And now you can't even initiate a tax increase without getting 60% of the eligible voters, which means all voters, all registered voters. So it's impossible to raise taxes in Arizona. So if you cut taxes anymore,
it's gone, baby.
It's gone.
Yeah.
And so, and to conform to the Trump tax bill, which is fleeting, because if the Democrats win the White House next time, they're going to reverse that.
Mm-hmm.
But we're not going to be able to reverse it because we've conformed to the Trump tax cut. So those tax cuts are permanent. And we don't have enough revenue. The other issue is we don't have enough revenue to fund government to do the things that it needs to do. And so if we don't have enough money to fund government and we're going to cut taxes again, and she's not going to get credit as a tax cutter.
No.
And she's actually in a position where the Republicans are going to say you didn't cut taxes, even if she cut taxes by $250 million. So I would do nothing, and I'd have a big fight about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd say, you people want to starve people, you want to kick them out of their homes, you want to do all this. That's what the Republicans want to do. And so I would look at it as an opportunity to have a fight and put my Democrat positions on full display.
What do you think happens with this fight? I mean, it's going to be right out the gate, and they want to get this done quickly.
It's going to come down to the budget. It'll be in the budget. The Republicans are going to pass something. She's going to veto it, and then it's going to be like when they passed the budget, a couple years ago, right out of the box. She vetoed it, and then they struggled till end of June to get it done. So I see this as a budget fight, and you got to close the budget at some point before the 1st of July. So it's going to be a negotiation, and I think but I would make it a fight. But I'm a fighter. I think that politics, there's compromise and you can work out compromise. But you need to actually get in the game and fight and fight for what you care about. And what's the point otherwise?
Yeah.
What, so we cut 250. That's $250 million of teacher pay raises. That's $250 million of housing equity. That's $250 million of health care for indigent people who need it the most.
I see what you're saying.
And who's going to get it? Me. I'm going to get it. Do I need more money? Yes, I do, but I don't. I don't. Not from the state of Arizona. For God's sakes, I pay 2.5%. Somebody in California pays 13%. We're good. We're fine. Yeah. In terms of our tax position for attracting business and growing our economy, we're in a great place. So we're going to cut $400 million to conform to Trump's craziness.
Sounds like you're ready to get up there in the ninth floor and start drafting up some battle plans, man.
If they want a fighter.
Yeah. I mean, I think at the end of the day, she probably ends up signing off on most of this. So what the Republicans want with the tax.
I do too. And it makes me heartbroken.
Okay.
And disappointed.
Okay. We hear why. You're very passionate about this issue, man.
Because, there's plenty of, the Republicans are doing fine. And this conformity stuff is, we don't have to conform to the federal tax code.
Yeah.
To what end? To make billionaires more billionaires, make them richer. That's what that's what the Trump tax cut. That's what it's about. It's about making billionaires richer.
Yeah. So
so come on, man.
Do you think at the end of the day, though, again, you said the former governor said it's hard to knock out incumbents. We know this from history, going back to Jack Brown or Sam Goddard or whatever. It was the last time an incumbent lost. You think she wins re-election this year? And I'm asking, too, because, part of the problem here is, Democrats have just done such a terrible job when it comes to just blocking and tackling of politics. They let the gap in voter registration just get out of control. I believe it's like a $300,000 gap right now.
Yeah, the math is terrible. And you got to have the math. You can't manufacture voters. And the Republicans vote. They all go out and vote. They voted, even in an off-year election, they voted 80%. And so they're going to be out there voting. And that's why you have to have this fight on your core issues and show the independents that you're ready to fight and do things that are going to matter for them and for your base and get them fired up. And you get the base fired up, and then you get more voters and you build on it. But if you sit back and wait for it to come to you, you're in trouble.
All right, man.
I'm glad I had my Mountain Dew on the way over.
I love it, man. I love it. I keep talking with you for a little bit longer, but we're running a little bit over what we like to do here. So I'll just end with this. You're a former Iowa guy. What's your prediction next year for our beloved Iowa Hawkeyes? They're 9-4 this year with a big bowl win.
Well, we had exactly what we always get. 9 wins and a mediocre bowl. So I'm predicting the same for next year. Maybe a Big Ten championship game.
Yeah,
That'd be great.
that would be awesome.
That would
be awesome. And any predictions on who wins the national championship this year? We are taping on Friday, so we already know one of the two teams is going to be Miami. We're waiting to see who wins Indiana and Oregon to get to the other spot.
I'm going to get. I think it's going to be Indiana. I think that they're really playing well, and so I'm. And it'll be they're going to make a movie about it, so they got to win.
And before I let you go, you used to do work for the Cardinals back in the day. So I got to ask you, is Michael Bidwell gonna pay what it takes to get a top-notch coach here for the Arizona Cardinals?
Well, Harbaugh, I would have already sent my plane. Michael's got a nice one. To pick up
several
Harbaugh
of them, from what I hear.
Fly him in and put him up and have him go to the Four Seasons and go, hang out in Arizona and see what it's like. I mean, Phoenix is a little nicer than Baltimore. I hate to break it to the people in Baltimore, but it is very beautiful here, and so I think that Coach Harbaugh would be remarkable. 18 years,
Yeah, man. I'm telling you, dude. I'm telling you, man. Hey, thanks a lot for stopping by here, man. We'll see you next time, and best of luck to you.
All right. Thanks, Tim.
And welcome back to the second half of the Politics Unplugged podcast. As always, joined by producer extraordinaire, Colin Stanton. Colin, how were the holidays, man?
Had great holidays. Had a really good time. Yeah. Took a quick vacation up to Denver. Hadn't really spent any time there. Loved it.
Yeah. How'd you like D-Town?
Liked it. It's got a great downtown. It was fun. We were staying next to Coors Field. Took a tour there. That was really cool. Saw a hockey game. Saw a concert. Had a good time.
You got to tell our viewers, listeners, your experience with the South Park show. You went to a store.
We didn't actually go.
Why you didn't go to this? Yeah.
So my son wanted to go to Casa Bonita, the Mexican restaurant that's owned by Matt Stone and Trey Parker now. That's been in South Park, and we didn't have a car. We were walking everywhere. And we figured out. So we took a Coors Field tour, and then we had a hockey game that night. And we figured out we had a couple hours between the end of the tour and the start of the game. So we were going to head over there, walk part way, take light rail, and we could just get there and back. We're already kind of exhausted because we've been walking everywhere for a few days. And then determined that, we knew we couldn't eat there because you need a reservation. The reservations are booked months and months and months in advance. But we figured we'd hit the gift shop. You can't get into the gift shop without a reservation to eat there. And apparently it's partly because the security at the place is like through the roof. I don't know if they get threats for their political views. I don't know what the deal is.
Wow.
But apparently security is really high at Casa Bonita and you can't get into the gift shop.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. So we determined that we didn't really need to spend 90 minutes walking and light railing to and from there to get a shot of a photograph of a Mexican restaurant in a strip mall from the outside. Maybe kind of a waste of time.
Oh, that's awesome, man. I'm glad. Sounds like a pretty chill, pretty decent, pretty great holiday, man.
Yeah.
I just hung out with my dog and my Christmas tree. I was sad.
Nice.
I got to take it down this weekend. Because I haven't turned it on. I don't want to be that person this far after New Year's.
Oh, we've been that person.
Yeah, but
our tree's been on every night.
Yeah, no, I haven't. I got to admit, man, I haven't had a. We talked a little bit how I haven't had a tree for a long time, and this was the first time in years. Kind of sad I have to take it down.
Yeah, no, it stinks, and we've got a lot of ornaments, so it's taking it down is kind of a process. I mean, all of the outside stuff came down last weekend. Yeah. We're not those people.
Yeah.
But the inside stuff is still all up and still lit up. We've got a lit up like Christmas border collie that sits right next to the tree that our dog stares at suspiciously. Yeah, it's been on, but it'll come down this weekend.
All right, man. Well, you got a big football game to watch tonight. Before we get to all of that, let's talk a little bit about the. It's the story of the week, at least domestically. I mean, God. I mean, Jesus. You snatch the president of Venezuela and fly him to New York, and yet the big story of the week is what happened in Minnesota, where there's an ICE enforcement operation that ended with a 37-year-old American citizen, mother of three, was shot dead in the snow by ICE agents.
Yeah,
by the story, the narrative from the get-go was just so full of crap.
Yeah. Or as all the national news outlets would phrase it, conflicting views on shooting incident in Twin Cities.
Well, it's this rush to judgment thing, right? And, I was hesitant to even talking about this on the podcast because I don't want to be accused of that either. We've had a few days to digest all of this stuff, but that did not stop this administration from going out there minutes after this tragedy happened to try to set this narrative.
Yeah.
And the head of Homeland Security, wearing a big-ass cowboy hat, put out this, narrative that did not match the video we saw.
No. We saw the video almost immediately. I think I've seen at least 4 different angles of it now. They put out the statement, and once you saw the video, there was really no legit debate to say that every single line of the statement was a lie.
Mm-hmm.
It was all completely dishonest.
They called this an act of domestic terrorism.
Yeah,
they called her
preposterous.
A domestic terrorist.
Yeah.
Trump said, the thing was that they was crazy about this, and then Trump was talking about how this in the video we saw, one of the video angles we saw, that the woman yelling at was clearly a paid agitator. Like, how can you glean all of this?
Yeah, he also said that the agent was run over, and it's a miracle that he survived.
Yeah.
The agent was on the side of the car. The agent was not in front of the car.
No, he walked away.
There was no threat to anyone. There was no injuries. They pretended there were injuries, but I don't know how he would have been injured because he wasn't in the path of the car.
Yeah. And, it's like, start by unpacking like the woman and what her motivations were or weren't and all this other stuff. Like, can't you wait for the fucking investigation to happen?
Yeah.
Like, look, if she is a domestic terrorist, we'll find that out in the course of time.
Yeah.
So this was an act of domestic terrorism. We'll find that out in the course of. Why do you feel the need?
Parking sideways in a street seems to be an odd way to express terrorism. I don't know how many people are terrified of that.
Yeah.
Clearly one guy was.
It was frustrating on a lot of levels. And I don't know what your sense is, but from what I'm seeing and reading and hearing, particularly on social and whatnot, I can't remember at least the left being this upset, this pissed off.
Yeah.
They are pissed off right now.
Yeah. I mean, the message is if you express any form of dissent near one of these places, they're going to attack you, and the administration will shrug and laugh.
Yeah, and I mean, in Minnesota, officials, the feds are not going to cooperate with them in an investigation in this. I mean, that's going to raise some red flags with the public. That's just going to reinforce what a lot of people suspect already. That's not going to help.
No. And we're also at a point now. So after that, we have 2 people shot in Portland.
Mm-hmm.
And the White House has immediately labeled them as Venezuelan gang members. I don't know who they are. I don't. But if the woman in Minneapolis is a domestic terrorist, I have questions about the gang affiliations of the people who were shot in Portland.
It does happen to be Venezuelan gang members.
Yeah.
And maybe they are.
Maybe they are, but the DHS has not exactly proven itself to be remotely trustworthy on this issue so far.
It's been a hell of a week, man.
It has. By the way, Epstein files still haven't been fully released. Just want to bring that up there in case,
Yeah. Anybody's watching. Anyone's paid.
Yeah.
We're paying attention.
They're still out there.
Yeah.
I think they've released less than 1% of what they were legally required to release a few weeks ago.
And also, too, aren't they supposed to come back, too, and explain their redactions within, 30 days of the releasing of the documents? There's so many days of the releasing of the documents, and they still haven't done that.
I'm
15 days
I'm sure
or something.
they'll get right on that.
Yeah. I'm sure they will. Wow, what a time to be alive, folks.
It really is. I mean, when we have to figure out what to talk about and they're threatening military action in Greenland didn't make the list. We want to go bomb our allies because Greenland looks really big on a flat map.
Yeah, no. Well, it's just insane, man. I mean, I don't know. He didn't. The president didn't rule out military intervention to try to take out Greenland. Now they're trying. They're kicking around some sort of idea about issuing lump sum payments to Greenlanders to get them to entice them to cut ties with Denmark. Hey, look, man, we're talking about a place with 57,000 people.
Yeah.
And
where we have a treaty that allows us to do pretty much whatever we want there. Anyway.
And then you're willing then to entertain this idea, just entertaining the idea of blowing up the NATO alliance.
Yeah. Because Greenland looks cool on a map.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think part of this is he wants to do this so he can claim that he has expanded the national homeland by more than any other president since Thomas Jefferson and the Louisiana Purchase.
Do you think that would clinch him the Nobel Peace Prize for next year? Or would he at least repeat as the FIFA Peace Prize winner?
Yeah. Well, you can't don't mock the FIFA Peace Prize.
I saw that Senator Kennedy of Louisiana said that military intervention in Greenland would be weapons grade stupid, and we're not weapons grade stupid.
So, well, here's how well it's going. This stuff's going over in Europe, and I know people. If you're listening and you're like, we don't care about Europe. I'm like, well, there are allies, and in foreign affairs, we should care a little bit about them. And in Germany, there was a poll taken on whether President Trump they thought he was doing a good job and whatnot. And how many people you think thought, percentage-wise, thought he was doing a good job in Germany?
5%?
12%.
12. Yeah, it's not great. It's doing a little better here.
I mean, it just goes, it's just like he is angering, the people we have worked with for decades.
Yeah.
They created, I mean, a pretty damn good time to be alive in America. It was like we're Gen Xers.
Yeah.
We didn't grow up in a depression. We didn't fight a world war.
No.
Pretty damn good time to be alive compared to, our grandparents.
Yeah. Yeah. And I just keep coming back to what's the point of this? Who benefits from all the stuff we're doing? And the answer is Vladimir Putin benefits from almost all of this.
Yeah. Well, the answer always sucks when you start going down. Who benefits from oh shit,
We're turning on our allies. We're threatening military action against Denmark.
Yeah.
Why would we do that?
Yeah.
Maybe the point of destroying NATO. Maybe that's the whole point.
Over Greenland, we have free reign. There's a good article in the New York Times last week. We have pretty much free reign to do whatever we want there.
Yeah.
And then there's stuff we don't have free reign to do, as it was put in that article. It's like if the U.S. just asks nicely, they'll probably let us do it.
Yeah. We're not ask nicely people anymore.
I guess not.
Yeah.
And this country got pretty nasty and ugly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just really felt terrible. With the woman who was shot and killed, it just was, all of it was so unnecessary.
Yeah.
And I mean, they orphaned kids.
Yeah.
She's the mother of 3.
And they were yelling, "Move, move, move" at her. And when she started moving the car, they opened fire.
Senseless.
Yeah.
And if you want to zoom out a little bit, why were they even there with the ramped up operations?
Yeah, I don't. To get at Tim Walz, I think is the short answer.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard somebody suggest that this administration has weaponized the government to troll liberals and Democrats.
No, that's essentially what you're saying.
It's just crazy to me.
I did enjoy one clip this morning of a guy in Minneapolis with a bullhorn yelling at ICE agents who are getting stuck in the snow. Their SUV, the wheels are spinning on the snow. There's a guy with a with a bullhorn going, "Oh no, I'm so sorry. Oh, you stuck there? You fucking amateur."
Like nobody's going to help those guys, man.
No, and he's doing it on a bullhorn with that.
No one's going to help
access.
it. Yeah. So sorry.
Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry.
You fucking amateur.
No one's going to help them there, man.
No.
I just hope they don't. I just hope they don't bring the ramped up enforcement here, man.
No.
I just don't think.
We still have better driving conditions here. They won't be stuck in the snow here.
Yeah, but you bring them here when it's 115 for 18 days in a row.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
That'll be something else, man.
Yep.
Hey, let's change the subject if you don't mind. The topic here, maybe something a little bit more upbeat, a little more uplifting. Let's talk a little bit about your Oregon Ducks.
Yeah.
You had to endure. Wes and I discuss our beloved Iowa Hawkeyes.
Yeah.
Which I know it's not the most enticing subject for you or probably our listeners, but hey, it's my show. I can talk about the damn Iowa Hawkeyes if I want to.
That's true.
So you guys playing Indiana tonight.
Yeah,
So is
Indiana
Oregon
in the Peach Bowl.
in the Peach Bowl? Is Oregon, by the time this comes out, your prediction will be known. Is Oregon going to make things right and beat Indiana? Because again, Indiana is a damn basketball school. This makes no sense in my world.
No, I hope so. We played them once. They beat us the first time. They looked really good. It was a good game, but Indiana's just a really good, solid, hard-to-beat team.
Yeah.
And they haven't lost, so that's the hard-to-beat thing is sort of obvious. They beat us by 10. We were missing some key players. They'll be back, but we have some other key players missing. A guy who I think a running back who has 15 touchdowns this year broke his clavicle against Texas Tech. Oof. I think we're down like 4 running backs, and we have like a comically big running back room, but you take 4 away, and that's going to be an issue. So we'll see. I'm optimistic. Oregon's really good.
Yeah.
Indiana's look terrific. I all year I thought Indiana looked like the best team in the country to the point where the playoff is sort of silly because if the point is fair, who the best team in the country is.
It's Indiana.
Indiana's proven it pretty solidly. But hey, last year Oregon was undefeated going into the playoff, and then
oh yeah. That happened.
And then had to beat Ohio State a second time and didn't. Mm-hmm. So we're on the other side of that this time. See if we can get them this time.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's just been weird. And Cignetti's he's a coach. He kind of comes off as a jerk, but I mean, he does a great job over there, man.
That's the thing I struggle with because they're a great story. They're it's an absolute Cinderella story of this school that's never been competitive. I mean, they're literally one of the worst football schools in the country going back
a long
years.
Time.
They're terrible. And this guy who's he's 64. He's not some young hotshot. He's a 64-year-old coach. Comes in and suddenly
with James Madison, right?
Yeah, he was James Madison before this.
Yeah, not exactly. He didn't work his way up through the powerhouse. No. Yeah, no.
And the kids he's got who are winning there are largely kids he brought with him from James Madison.
Yeah, and they're men, by the way.
Yeah, it's an older team.
Yeah, it's an older team, man.
So all of that's really cool. The flip side is he's a dick.
Yeah,
he's just a jerk. The Oregon game, at one point he was yelling at a kid for getting injured. He got injured in the first half, Cignetti was screaming at him on the sidelines. And then when they do the thing where they leave, for halftime, and the reporter asks him a question, the reporter says, "Hey, what do you want to see in the second half?" He said, "I want to see some kids get up and get off the field after a play." I mean, that's
some old school.
And
that's
I'm sure Indiana is, they love that shit. They had Bobby Knight. That's what they're, there is a certain audience that loves abusive coaches, and Indianapolis is probably ground zero for that.
Yeah, and most of those people were born in the mid 1900s.
Yes. So I tip my cap to him. He's done a hell of a job there. That's a really good team, very disciplined team. The fact that their average age is like 23, that's going to be a factor there.
It could be a factor. I mean,
but such a jerk.
Yeah, and but I think you will join me in that whoever wins this, I think tonight's the national championship.
Yeah, I think whoever wins this should win the national championship pretty easily.
Yes, but you and I urge everybody, whoever wins tonight, you should root for them against Miami.
Yeah.
For a lot of reasons. Sorry for one of my coworkers who went there.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there's a lot of reasons.
Yeah. And first and foremost for me is their coach, Mario Cristobal, left Oregon to go to Miami.
Yeah, there you go.
So I was hoping Miami would win last night just because I want to see Oregon kick their asses in the championship. We'll see.
All right, we got a few minutes left here before we have to sign off here. But Cardinals coach.
Yeah.
Man, Wes didn't say much when I asked him about that, did he?
No. He thinks they should go after Harbaugh, which they should.
They should. I don't think they will.
I mean, I think they'll make an effort, but I don't think the chance of success is greater than 1%.
No, but they should at least make him think about it. And like he's got to. I think Michael Bidwell has really got to. He's got to. Every coaching hire you have to knock out of the park, but there's a lot riding on this for perceptionally.
Yeah.
I mean, that chance Super Bowl run is far in the past now.
Yeah. Yeah, people have largely forgotten about that outside of here.
Yeah, and even the 2015 team that went to the NFC Championship game. I mean, that's in the past now too.
Yeah.
I mean, you haven't done shit in 10 years, man.
No.
Except raise prices, put in casitas in the end zones.
Yeah.
And
get a lot of bad publicity from things in the front office.
Yeah, there's a lot of bad publicity.
Yeah.
There's a lot riding on this.
Yeah. And I'm curious to see what direction they go in. I don't think they have a shot at Harbaugh. Miami's wanted Harbaugh for years. When his agent said that they'd gotten, I think, 7 phone calls from from teams, and at that point there were 7 openings, but one of them was Baltimore, which meant if what he was saying was right, there was a team that still had a coach that was
probably Miami.
I was guessing it was Miami.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, a couple days after Harbaugh got fired, Miami fired their coach. I think I think it's between Miami and the New York Giants.
Probably, but Phoenix, you can sell them on the weather. It's like, look, it's we don't have the water like Miami, but we don't have the humidity either.
Yeah.
And there's no alligators.
No. And Arizona has the same issue that Miami does if you're coming in as a coach. Who's your quarterback? Because you have to consider that if you're in Harbaugh's shoes or anyone's shoes. Jacoby Brissett might be a perfectly good interim while they figure it out.
You're not running it back with Kyler Murray?
You're not running it back with Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray, I don't think, is an option at this point. And they've got the number 3 pick, and I'm guessing that Fernando Mendoza and Dante Moore go 1-2 in one order or the other, and at 3, that doesn't leave you much. So that's a tough sell, I think, when you have no idea who your quarterback is going to be in the future. But Miami's in the same spot. Tua got benched this year. Tua was pretty awful.
Yeah.
They don't have anything lined up. The attractive thing with the Giants is they've got Jackson Dart. who, as long as he can stay out of the concussion protocol,
But
looks pretty good.
But look, too, the Giants, they're not the organization they used to be.
No, they're a mess.
They are a mess and have been a bit of a mess. And New York football, just in general now, when you throw in the Jets and the Giants, are all just a big mess right now.
Yeah.
So, but again, like, there's reputation, franchise reputation, and stuff like that. And the Phoenix Cardinals have been owned by the Bidwills for over 100 years or whatever the hell, and they have just not been good. No. And it has always been a mess. And he has got to. I think this hire is a chance for him to change the perception. You're going to have to go out if you want a top-notch coach like Harbaugh. Go overpay for him. Give him the offer he can't refuse, and try to get him here if you want to sway hearts and minds. But I don't think that's going to happen, not given the history of Michael Bidwill and the Bidwill family. And he was asked about something like that, about how much he's willing to pay for a coach at a press conference the other day, and he says, I'm not negotiating in the media. So there's your answer.
Yeah. And there are 7 openings, I think. The Cardinals are not the most appealing of the openings. No. I don't know who they're going to get, but Harbaugh would stun me. Yeah. I think optimistically they should be going hard for someone like Clint Kubiak, who would,
I like to see Sala from. I'd love to see them steal somebody from one of their rivals.
Yeah, I'd be fine with Sala. He's one of those guys that's hard to judge because he's so successful as a coordinator, and that doesn't always mean you're going to be a great head coach. He got one shot at being a head coach, and is with the New York Jets, and that just doesn't tell you anything.
Yeah,
it's a perpetual garbage fire there. You can't judge. I like the guy. I would be fine with him as a hire. I don't know.
Well, sometimes the second stop is the best stop, right? Yeah. I mean, Bill Belichick wasn't the greatest football coach in NFL history when he was at Cleveland.
No. Looked pretty good once he got to New England
and got a Tom Brady.
Put Tom Brady in the lineup.
It's a quarterback coach league, man. It's a quarterback coach league.
Yeah.
So anyway, I think we got to get out of here.
All right.
Great seeing you again, man. Have a great weekend. Good luck to your Ducks. Go Ducks.
Thank you. Go Ducks.
Thanks for listening. You can subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, the Google Store, or anywhere else you get your podcasts. See you next time.